going to look at bike setup and a few basic do's and don'ts that'll allow people to set their bike up so that it's more comfortable and, more importantly, more safe for them to ride. So the first and most important part of getting a bike set up is that the frame is actually the right size in the first place. So whenever someone's got their bike, or if you're giving them a bike, just make sure they can swing a leg over the top tube here, and they need to be able to comfortably stand. If they can't comfortably stand like this, then they can't get off the bike forwards like this, and they'll always be falling over when they're trying to get off the bike, which is really dangerous. So you need just 2 or 3 inches between the top tube here and the bits that matter here. Once you've got that set up, you need to start thinking about saddle height. There is an optimum saddle height for riding efficiency, but it might not be the height that's right for your riders. It's essential that they're comfortable and confident on the bike. And so actually starting low, particularly if you're doing skills work, can work really well. So a lot of people, particularly if they're new, like to be able to get their feet down on the ground like this. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Once you get out and start riding further distances, you'll find that they need to get the height up towards the optimum position here. And the good way to measure optimum height is to actually get them to sit on the bike, have this pedal down at the 6 o'clock position, and their heel goes on the pedal, and their legs should be near enough locked out here, so just a tiny bit of bend in the knee. So that's the optimum pedaling saddle height. So we've got the right size frame and the right seat height. The next adjustment we can make is just about the cockpit length here. It's really important that people can actually get their weight moved down behind the saddle here for steep drops. So if they can't, you can undo the bolts here and just adjust the saddle forward 2 or 3 inches. There's always enough adjustment to actually bring it forwards. You can also think about maybe rotating the handlebars forwards or backwards by just undoing these bolts, slight movement and pinching them back up, and you can get quite a lot of cockpit adjustment there as well. So we've got the right bike, we've got the right length. Next thing is the brakes. It's so common to see people who've got their brake levers set up near enough flat, which actually is fine. If they're only ever riding down to the shops, that's not a problem at all. But we're going to encourage them to stand up as much as possible. And so if they can stand up and have a fairly straight line down their forearm and down the brake lever, it makes it a lot more comfortable. So whilst up high like this might feel good when you're sat down, when you're stood up, having the levers down there makes it a lot more easy to cover the brakes. Other brake adjustments you can make relate to where the brake lever sits on the handlebar. So I'd encourage them to set it up so they can only use 1 finger to brake, and then they've got the remaining 3 fingers gripping around the bars. It gives them a lot more grip, a lot more control, and a lot more confidence. So we've got the right angle, we've got the lever in the right place. Finally, if they've got small hands, then you'll normally find some kind of adjustment here, and you can actually adjust that lever in closer to the handlebar, so it's easier for them to keep the brake covered. You're going to encourage them to ride the whole time with 1 finger, just sitting on the brake, so that it's always there to pull when they need it. Okay, so that's it for the bike setup. Go have fun on the trails.